Alright, we should be live. Microphone looks good. Video capture. Alright, we are back and we are working on the Grim Captain. We finished the card selection last time, and I'm going to go over a few things that I added after I ended that stream, but first, just in case you are starting with the deck building one, instead, like you didn't want to see the card selection process, in case you're wondering, the Grim Captain is not technically legal as a commander. We are invoking Rule 0, which is if your play group allows it, it's fine. Like, the Grim Captain is powerful, but there are a lot of commanders that are way, way stronger than he is, so he's cool and he's interesting and he's asking for things that you don't normally get asked for, especially in mono black, and that's part of the reason why I had to add some stuff, so let's pull up the list. So he's currently at 178 cards. So there are 10 cards, I believe, that got added after I ended the stream last time. So real quick, they are all creatures. So, and several of them are like these. In fact, all of them are one or more of these specific creature types. Vampires is the only one I didn't have to add anything to the list, but I chose to just to give myself a few more options when selecting his vampires, but vampires is the thing that he easily has, more than enough of. Alright, so here's the first one. This is Putrid Raptor. So, if we go to Scryfall real quick, you can see why I had to add some of these cards. So, Commander Identity is mono black. If we go Dinosaur, this will probably be faster. If we go Dinosaur, oops, I added game text, not Whoosy thing. Card type, Dinosaur. Maybe I should search game text just to make sure. We might have to add a card or two in. So, these are literally all of the mono black dinosaurs. This is every card that has the creature type dinosaur and is mono black. So, we already had Tetsamok and Spitting Dilophosaurus on the list. So, we added Rampaging Spiketail, Rotting Regisaur, and Putrid Raptor, who retroactively got the dinosaur type once it got added in Ixalan, since it is a dinosaur. It was just a zombie beast originally. So, and Visage of Dread is only a dinosaur on the backside, and it requires crafting with two creatures, so it's exiling two creatures to flip into a dinosaur, and then it's only valid as a dinosaur while it's face up on the table, since it's a transforming double face card. So, yeah. So, that's dinosaurs. We looked at Merfolk the other time, but just as a refresher... Oops. What was that? Like, what did it click on that it's just like, I'm going to show you this random siren now. So, these are all the mono black Merfolk. And out of all of them, only Mire Triton is actually good for our deck. The other two are just pathetic. They are on the list, though, because I had forgotten that we don't have that many dinosaurs to work with, so I need more Merfolk, so that way the Changelings don't have to do all of the heavy lifting. And then we did Pirate, just to double check, and we only have one page of Pirates, and most of them are kind of medium too. So the ones that are actually on the list, we already had Deadeye Tracker, Dire Fleet Hoarder, Dire Fleet Poisoner, Ravager, the Forerunner, Francisco's on the list, Greedy Freebooter, Kitesail Freebooter, Pitiless Plunderer, Ruin Raider, Ruthless Knave, Skeleton Crew. I added Tomb Raider, or Tomb Robber rather, and we didn't bother with Wanted Scoundrels because 2 mana 4/3 that gives an opponent 2 treasures is probably not where I want to be at with my pirates. And of course, the Grim Captain is on the list, but he can hardly be used for his own thing. So then I went over vampires. And a few of the ones I added, I missed that they were vampires, because they had a lot of other stuff going on. Let's see, where's the first one? So I did add Bloodflow Connoisseur. We already have Bloodthrone Vampire. which is the 1/1. There she is. Bloodthrone Vampire, so that way we can sacrifice creatures if we need to before casting the Living Death. But if we're sacrificing creatures, this one gets counters, so I decided to at least add it to the list as a consideration. Most notably, they can both eat themselves if needed to get themselves off the table before Living Death also, so there's that. Still didn't add the Bloodlord of Azagoth, and don't think I'm going to. I was considering the Chancellor because it is a 6/6 flying lifelink that we could potentially cheat into play. But it's still just that, like, it's kind of medium. Flying Bloodlord was already on the list. The Dranas are already on the list. I wonder why this Drana's over here. Like, she should be alphabetically before those two. Anyway. But yeah, all the Dranas are on the list. I just now noticed that. I did consider Goldraw's Overseer. I don't think that one's already on the list. Pumps your team if you landfall other than itself, and if the land is a swamp, it gives them a bigger power boost. But it's still only +2/+0. Both Kalidases are already on the list. I did go over to see how many of each creature type I have, and the average is about, like, 6 for each creature type. So, Malakir Blood Priest, kind of not necessary. Marie's already on the list. Where are the other ones? There were a couple of them, not too many. Like I said, I added 10 cards total. I did consider Slaughter Specialist. I also had to look up which Sorin this was to see if that one was worth considering, but not really. I know there's at least one on this page. I think there's two. Vayne Witch was already on the list. Oh, Vran. I did not realize he was a vampire. So he is currently on the list now. And I decided to go back and add Westgate Regent because I thought I was going to get some much stronger vampires than this, but a 5-mana 4/4 flyer that doubles its power as it deals combat damage to players, probably worth it. Also, it's protected a little bit by making the opponent have to discard, but so yeah, all in all, I added 10 cards. We also added in the from the Changelings, I put the Bloodline, the one from Kaldheim, the Artifact one, Bloodline Pretender, on the list. Since it is a it's all creature types, so it helps with the merfolk and the dinosaur problem. And we can name vampires with it, but it will still be the other creature types also, so the vampires will trigger it and give it counters. I also added Metallic Mimic because I can name whichever type is more relevant. Like, if I have a ton of vampires I'm going to cast, I can name vampire, and that's fine. But if I need a merfolk or a dinosaur, I can cast it as one of those, and then potentially exile it with the Grim Captain, so... It does have to be in play, though. It does not have... That one doesn't have Changeling. But... So... I suppose, yeah, we should look for game tech, see if there's anything that's making pirates or dinosaurs or some such. Oops. Took away my commander thing. There we go. Cares about going on pirates. Ready on pirates. That makes the pirate token, but gives it to the opponent. Yeah, nothing else for pirates. Text. Dinosaur. So We have a mana rock that can turn into a dinosaur. And it's called Dinosaur Headdress. There's also Dino DNA, but we have to exile. It is from a graveyard, so it's 6 make a dinosaur. 6/6 dinosaur with that ability, maybe. Just to get more dinosaurs. Plus, it's a way to exile cards from, like, creature cards from graveyards. So. Huh. Maybe I do want that then. Alright, so. You're in the other category called Dino DNA. Yeah, I forgot to check the game text to see if there's anything that's making stuff. So this is an artifact. This is 1 tap. Imprint. Exile a creature from a graveyard. It's a sorcery. And 6, make a 6/6. 6/6. Dino copy of the creature. Of a creature. Print. Okay. Add that to the list. None of these other ones. Like, the Fountain of Ichor technically works, but we already have Mutavault for that type of thing. So, I don't think that's particularly worth it. It's Dinosaur. We did Pirate. Merfolk. See if there's any mono black card making a Merfolk. Nope. Didn't think so. And I guess we should double check Vampire just to make sure. Yep. Blood Chief. Blade Torch is anti-vampire. Ah, it's true. Everything that references its own name that has vampire in the name is also going to be on this list. Let's cast Heart. Blood, no. Fashion Vampire. Four, 3 Vampire Demon. These. The Vampire. It's called Vampire Lord and therefore references itself. That's true. Tarian's Journal makes the creature a vampire, but it also puts the finality counter on it. Not really that interested in that. That's... Yep. Okay, so nothing else. Alright, so we added the Dino DNA, so I guess we'll go back up here. That brings us up to 179. Okay, so that's all of the cards added in now. So now it's just a matter of whittling this down to a more reasonable number. So if we're at 179, we only need 119 cuts, and then we can add lands. So let's see if there's anything that I've added to the list that's just like, yeah, no, that was probably not correct. We don't really need that. Elver's all right for right now. Spelling mistake. We probably won't need the Milliken. We have a bunch of other we have a bunch of other cards that mill, and I would rather have the creature slots be the relevant creature types if we can help it. Take that off the list. I was updating thing so that way I could start streaming. Don't need Mephidros. Grave Robber, Leyline of the Void, Skeletal Vampire. What's that? Nation, Miri, Cairn Wanderer, Ghostly Changeling. Yeah, we kind of actually need most of the changelings too, just to have critical mass on the right creature types. Extractor Demon is fine for right now. I don't need Blood Tribute, but I do have a bunch of the Wound Reflection cards, one of which is a vampire, so any of those combined with that will kill the opponent outright. Mage, Nighthawk. Yeah, these are all fine for right now until we have to start whittling down the number of vampires. So Sangromancer might be able to get cut because I have so many things that exile that the opponent's creatures won't die, and we don't have a ton of discard, so. Right, Liliana? I suppose she's not, like, super on theme. You can let me discard my cards for value, and I usually don't mind that, but you can only make one player sacrifice a creature instead of each opponent, so probably don't need her. Might cut the Crypt Gas since it's not a vampire. Palace Siege is okay because we also have things like the Vainwitch Coven, which would care about me gaining life. I think there are a couple other vampires that care about that, so. Cletus stays. Indignation is fine. Timepiece is fine for right now. Gifted Aetherborn. I could see Gifted Aetherborn going because it's just weaker than some of the other ones with all the keywords on it. Pirates that I have, basically. Listenave, yeah. Sanctum Seeker. It is a Vampire Knight, so it works with the Exsanguinator Cavalry. But I could see cutting the Sanctum Seeker. Champion of Dusk, Zealot, Pirates, one of the dinosaurs we have. Robbers on the list for right now, but maybe. Doom Whisperer is one of the few, like, yes, I can run this because it's doing too much work for the deck. I do self-mill a lot, and I don't have a lot of high casting cost things, so I think the Mausoleum Secrets is fine for right now. Swarm, Scavenger, Null Priest, Tender, Maskwood Nexus. Yeah, we probably don't need Tegrid. Like, she works well with the deck, but I don't need her. She's very powerful, but we're not focused on what she's doing. Also, she's one of those cards that's so powerful it kind of takes away from the commander at that point. Do I actually care about the Death Priest? I'm going to guess no. Like, it buffs the Grim Captain +1/+1. When creatures die, I get to make 1/1 skeletons, and then I have other cards that care about skeletons a little bit, but yeah. We need the Death Priest, actually. Warlock class is the worst of the Wound Reflection cards, but its second level does let me put cards in the graveyard while getting a card to my hand, so a little bit tempting to still keep it. Do we care about the Dreadhound? It mills me 3 when it comes in. Yeah, it's just a worse Sir Conrad, honestly. So it's only okay at this point. Vampires, the Voltaren estate. Takenuma is a land that lets me mill. Very Tampering, Sanguine Spy. Praetor. It's possible we cut Gix. Not as insane as Tegrid, but also kind of a draw away from what the deck is actually trying to do. And not one of the major creature types. The card draw is really nice, but it's also giving that to our opponents when they're murdering each other, which the survivor could be a problem. Like the person that still has stuff after they're done killing the one opponent for us in order to draw more cards. Yeah, I can see cutting Gix. Not like I don't already have a full deck built around him anyway. A Shadow is fine for right now. We'll figure out which we'll do a sub list for all of the graveyard hate cards to figure out which ones I want to run. Multiverse, Pile-On, Persistence, Triumph, Bloodletter, The Bringer, Corpses, Freebooter, Preacher, Spiketail, yeah, literally all of the cards that aren't our commander or the one removal spell all make the thing. So Corpses of the Lost, I did I went back and checked because of the Skeleton Crew, and yes, it also makes a Skeleton Pirate, so those are just extra pirates on top of that for our commander, so Imperial Seal is probably going to go. I think it's the worst tutor on the list. I don't think it's actually worth the effort, so we'll go ahead and cut that out. Turnus can stay for right now. Oh, I did also add Swiftfoot Boots to the list because apparently that was not on there. Rotting Regisaur is fine because it's one of the few dinosaurs we have. Sorin, Silver Smoke Ghoul, Veto, Birthing Boughs, Changeling Outcast. Yeah, all of the changelings kind of have to stay for right now. Voidwalker, Grave is fine, Black Market is fine, Deluge. Yeah, we can probably get rid of the Corpse Augur. I have other ways to draw cards, and I don't need a zombie wizard right now. Blood, Bloodline Necromancer, Keru Mind Eater, Patron of the Vein. All of these. We might cut the Manascape Refractor. We also might cut the Endless Atlas. I have other ways to draw cards that aren't costing me 2 mana a turn, so. Paper, Creeping Bloodsucker. The 2 vampire employees from Unfinity, plus all of the rides they can open. Mindrack Harpy. We do have other ways to self-mill, so probably can cut the Harpy as a creature. If she were a vampire, she'd definitely make the list, but... Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6... 7... Yana's 8... It's 9. Is there anything else if we copy this? 10? Yeah, we are. Okay, so 9 cards on the list. That can come off now. Savannah Watson, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel. How are you doing today? I am doing fine, all things considered. We head back into this to try and figure out what else we're taking out. Alright. assume it's not too early for us to do like the removal suite, see what we're looking at. Let's go ahead and do that. That'll give me more of a idea what we can get rid of. Phyrexia, Hellfire. Yeah, I suppose we include Shaku. She does tap to just do exile a creature. Oops, not cut. Put her back on the list. Withering Boon is here as a removal spell. I don't know that we count Living Death. Like, it's not so much that it's meant to be a removal spell as it's meant to bring back all of our dead things. It will function as a removal spell in a lot of ways, but send an Evankar. Like, it can be pseudo removal in that it's giving all the creatures -1/-1, but the things it's killing aren't really that much of a factor. It's more that it's weakening larger creatures. Death Cloud is kind of removal. Crucible, Vampire, Imp, Leyline, Damnation, yes. Nameless Inversion is removal, sort of. Bonar. Blood Tribute is only to the player. Bloodghast, Kalidas, Mage, Nighthawk. Butcher, kind of. Drana's removal. Bit awkward. Karn is in here as removal. $12 now. Yeah, no, Dark Imposter, 6 mana, exile a creature. Regent, Connection, Spy, Downfall, yes. No. Oh, that's true. We grabbed Drana. We didn't grab other Kalidas, though. Hey, let's go grab him real quick. Because he is definitely a removal spell. Okay. Nation, Timepiece. Tracker, Hoarder, Ravager, Grim Captain's Call, Freebooter, Ruin Raider. No, none of those are actually removal spells. Poisoner, not really. Sometimes it randomly will be, but that's a mock, though, definitely. Price of Fame, yes. Do we have now 17 out of 24? Rider, yes. Feed the Swarm is 19. Enrika is a sacrifice, but that's about it, and that's not even what she's mainly in here for. Assassin's Ink, yes. More before we have to start putting them down on the list and come back. Pylon. 1. Virtue's 22. Triumph's going to be 23. Those. Turnus, Seer, Swiftfoot, Rotting Regisaur. Yeah, I don't really count Soren. Like, we can use Soren as bad removal, but he is almost entirely in here to buff up our vampires and cheat the more expensive ones into play off of a 3-mana Planeswalker. Those, Voidwalker, Unmarked Grave, Connections. Alright, so Deluge is card number 24. Are there any other actual removal spells down here? Cisco, Skeleton Crew, Bloodsucker. Those two. Alright, so we have exactly 24 straight up removal spells. I guess kind of the Dilophosaurus too, but Oubliette. Actually, here. Way down here, this is our removal package. Oubliette. Gate to Phyrexia, Hellfire, Shaku, Moonstone, Death Cloud, Damnation, Inversion, Butcher, after Butcher should be that Kalitas. About a year and a few months now. Close to a year and a half. Alright, so Butcher, then Drana, Karn, Blisskarn, Poster, Fall, Tetsamok, Price of Fame, Rider, Swarm, Ink, Pylon, Virtue, Bit, Deluge. Alright. Clear all those off the list, so we have 21 removal spells. Alright, so for things that kill creatures, we have... Here, Wraths first. So we have Hellfire, Oblivion Stone, Death Cloud, Tetsamok's kind of can. Toxic Deluge. I don't think we need all of them. Player loses X life, sacks X creatures, end X lands, and discards X cards. I don't think I need the Death Cloud. I think we can cut that one. We also have the Living Death and the Bringer of the Last Gift, which can technically work as Wraths. I'm wondering if we, just for the sake of the insane price tag on it, cut the Hellfire. That just leaves us with Damnation, O-Stone, the 2 Living Death variants, and then our other things that can kill multiple creatures, like the Tetsamok and the Butcher of Malkior, kind of. Yeah, it seems fair. I'm already asking people to have Gate to Phyrexia in their deck if they want to have an artifact removal spell. If you don't have Gate to Phyrexia, you probably just need to consider one of the either a targeted artifact removal, like an artifact that can kill other artifacts, things like what's its name? I'm blanking so hard on the name. It's something obelisk. Ominous obelisk or something. It's a mana rock that also has 7 tap, sacrifice it and destroy target non-land permanent, I believe. So there's that. You can also consider like another O-Stone variant like Nev's Disc for mass artifact removal. Yeah, Gate to Phyrexia I think is 100 and some odd dollars. It might be more than that now because it's a reserve list card, and it's one of the very few ways Black has to destroy an artifact. It's literally this, and there's a Mirage card called Tribute to Phyrexia, which also lets you sack 2 creatures once to destroy an artifact. So even worse than the Gate, but yeah, we cut the Hellfire, we cut the Death Cloud. I want to keep Nameless Inversion, even though it's like the worst targeted removal spell since it is a changeling, and therefore technically works as a Merfolk or Dinosaur, or one of the other ones for the Grim Captain, if need be. Even though we can never like get it again because the Grim Captain doesn't let you cast it; he lets you put it into play if it's a permanent. But it's still all of the creature types, so I have to kind of consider it. I think we can cut Hero's Downfall, though. We cut that because I think that one's just worse than some of the other ones. Um, we have both Price of Fame and Pile-On, so I'm wondering if we can get rid of Assassin's Ink. We also have the Murderous Rider. Like a lot of times, Assassin's Ink's going to be between 2 and 3 mana. Like it's almost always between 2 and 3 mana. It's almost never going to be 4. The Price of Fame lets us surveil though, but it can only hit creatures, and it costs 4 mana if it's not killing a legendary creature. The Pile-On has Convoke, can hit Planeswalkers, and has Surveil. Everything's got like its couple of good points. I think we have enough self-mill. We can probably get rid of the Price of Fame and just use the Pile-On for right now. So we cut that. So Bitter Triumph is always 2 mana. We just have to lose 3 life to kill a thing. And it can hit Planeswalkers. Yeah, you probably don't need Assassin's Ink then. That's true. We also have Karn to get rid of artifacts, among other problematic permanents. I know I'm going to have to cut a few more of these, but I think that's a good start for getting rid of the definite one. So let's get rid of Death Cloud. Nope. Okay, fine. That's true. I have a lot of the word death on here. There's Death Cloud. Price. Not what I meant. True. All right. There we go. Oh no, it's possessive. There we go. That's why I couldn't find it. Downfall. Hellfire. And assassin. Oh, wait. We have plenty of assassins. Let's find ink. Stinkweed Imp. Yep. Nope, that sounds about right. And all of the life links. Yeah, okay. This wasn't a much better decision than trying to search for assassin. In fact, this is worse because we have 19 inks on the list, thanks to all the lifelink. But I think I only have like 10 assassins at most. 4 assassins, and 2 of them are on Marie's text. So we had 5 total. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, 165. 5 more cuts, and then we only need 100 more after that. Clear those off. Yeah, I think we have enough of our own card draw. Like, I don't mind discarding cards for this deck, but it's not as big a deal as I thought it was going to be, so we can probably cut chains and save everybody, like, however many $100 this stupid thing is. We want Buried Alive. Jet Medallion is fine for right now. Find the Delver, but we could cut it. It's not a... Like, if it was a Phyrexian Vampire or something, then I could definitely see running it. Also, I'm wondering if we even need any of the, like, Nightmare Lashes or anything. The Grim Captain's already a massive beatdown creature. We could make him a lot larger by giving him the equipment, but I don't know that that's actually needed. Is fine for right now with its Dredge 5. Wanderer, Ghostly Changeling, Stalactite. Lets me turn creatures into other creature types. The best thing about the Rune Stalactite is we can, like, turn a vampire into a all creature types, and then when we get rid of it, we will still be able to put it back into play because it's still one of the creature... Actually, we'd be able to put it back into play anyway because it's a creature exiled by the Grim Captain to transform him, so... And we have the Stalactite for later. Gas, Kalitas, Mage, Nighthawk. Yeah, the more I think about the biggest problem with the Sangromancer is we're not making opponents discard, and we want to exile instead of letting their cards go to the graveyard. So it's really hard for their creatures to die consistently. It is 3 life, though, when that happens for the Silver Smoke Ghoul. So that would be nice, but if we're really going to exile graveyards, I guess I leave it on the list to make absolutely sure that we're running Living Death and Bringer of the Last Gift. The Spy is a self-mill if we want it to be, but it's not great at its job. If we play it and we target ourselves and we mill a land, that's probably fine, but it's not really what we wanted to do. We wanted to hit a bunch of relevant creature types. The more I look at a card like Palace Siege, the more I think I need to cut Oversold Cemetery. I don't super need to get my creatures back a lot of the time. I think the next best thing might be to look at all the vampires and figure out which ones I actually want, because vampires are the only ones where the list overfloweth with them, whereas all of the other ones, it's like I'm grasping at the terrible ones just to make, more of each creature type. Yeah, let's cut the chains off, and then... What do we got time-wise? Yeah, we got enough time to pull all the vampires from the list and start looking at them as a group. Alright, so Shaku. Evan Carr. Silver Call. Raptor. Ephedros Vampire. Rubber and Skeletal Vampire. Also arbitrarily a skeleton. I guess not arbitrarily, it's in the name, but get to give it haste with the other thing. The Nosferatu. Eerie. We'll leave the changelings out because they count for all of them anyway, so you don't need to them. Yeah, Bloodghast. This and the Malacure. Nighthawk and Hexmage. Butcher. These. Sangromancer. 12 now. These are vampires. Oh, so is the Bloodline Keeper. Let's grab that one first. Bloodline. Grab these two. There's the Regent. To 15 now. Anna 16. Kalisa 17. $18. Sanctum Seeker. It's 19. Champion of Dusk. 20. It's 21. It's 22. Three. Alright. So let's go down here. Fires. Shaku. Evan Carr. Ephedros. Nosferatu. Eerie. Bloodghast. Blood Witch. Nighthawk. Butcher. Anna. Friends. Sangromancer. Foster. Necropolis Regent. Other Drana. Edis. These. So clear that off. Bolus's Citadel here. There's Ryder's a zombie. Conrad's a knight. Triton's a merfolk. Third Drana. Priest and Scavenger. Alice Blood Mage. These are vampires. Sanguine Spy is a vampire. Ran. Your Virtue. Bloodletter and Bringer are both vampires. The Schism. Sorcerer. Soren himself is not. Vito and the Silver Smoke Ghoul are. Atomic. Void Walker. Blood. Actually, so Patron, Heru, Necromancer, and Thief were all from the same vampire theme decks, I think. We have. Alright, so Cavalry, Marie, Crossway Troublemakers, and Vane Witch are all vampires, and it's nice that there wasn't anything else in between them to mess that up. And there's a Creeping Bloodsucker. 2 employees. Vengeant Vampire. That's another 16. Yeah, we need to cut a bunch of the vampires here. Way too many on the list. So third Drana. 2. 3. Brand. Guys. Nocturnus. Seer. 2. That group. Sucker. Infinity ones. And the gift box guy. Okay. But yeah, we have way too many vampires on the list as it stands. Alright, so who are our worst vampires? Shaku's a removal spell, but she's also nearly impossible to do anything with other than exile creatures, and I'm losing 3 life every turn. Like, she can't even attack if, like, I have other creatures in play. So, it is nice that she exiles, but I think we need to cut her in favor of some of the other ones that are a bit more useful when they're done killing everything. Mephedros makes all my other creatures vampires, which can be helpful. Good old Krovax here isn't really killing any of my things and might, like, debuff a bunch of our opponent's stuff. We can probably lose the Nosferatu. Being able to turn into a bat and then turn back into the other thing isn't super helpful. Probably lose Miri too. She's not actually that powerful. I guess we can leave her for a little bit, get rid of some of the other ones first. Yeah, who am I king? She's gonna go. I love her, but she has to go. It's not enough room for her in the deck. X-Mage is fine. Nighthawk, Butcher, Rana. Revenant's fine. We are trying to exile opponent's graveyard. Sangromancer should go. If I somehow wind up with all of my things that exile letting the cards go to the graveyard and exiling them from the graveyard, then maybe. Bloodline Keeper is fine, but I could see cutting it. This is fine. Can probably cut the Gifted Aetherborn in favor of some of the other ones on the list. Sanctum Seeker can go. Champion's fine. Zealot's okay. I could see cutting the Zealot just because it's kind of on the weak side as a 2-mana 1/1 with no other abilities, but then letting me draw the card. We will probably want to cut the Scavenger too if I'm going to be exiling graveyards. Like, I don't need a 3-mana 1/3 flying Death Touch lifelink. Blood Mage is fine. Purveyor. Purveyor's big and angry. I don't know how good, like how bad giving opponents the blood tokens is going to be, but it certainly is a downside. Like, we currently don't have anything. When I got rid of the Sangromancer, there's nothing that punishes the opponents left in our deck for them discarding. So I could see cutting him just because he's not that good. I don't need the Bloodcaster either. Kind of medium. Letter's fine. Bringer, Preacher. Furnace is fine. Viscera Seer, Veto, Thief, Necromancer. ETB, I reanimate my Vampire or Wizard. The Mind Eater is kind of in the same vein as the other similar vampire, the Shadow thing. I think I need that. Three is fine. Probably don't need the Creeping Bloodsucker. It's okay. I think I have enough other ways to gain life, but it's still fine with something like Veto. Alright, so we have all of these off of the list now. So yeah. Shaku. Sorry, Shaku, I thought this was actually going to be the deck for you. A Nosferatu. Two. Raise 3. There's 4. It's 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. Alright. So get rid of all of those off of the list. That brings us down to 155. And we're exactly at the hour mark right now. So yeah, I'm going to call it there. I have to get my brother and get him to work soon, so that'll do it for me for right now. I'll be back on later, probably drafting Ixalan, but that's going to do it for this one. So thank you for watching. Thank you to Savannah for the follow and for stopping by to talk for a little bit, and I will see you all next time. Have a good rest of your day.